Alright, in previous session we have seen what is Ansible Vault and also Ansible roles. We are going to deal with Ansible roles again today, and we need to see deploying Tomcat and var file using Ansible and set up a Jenkins server using Ansible. So today we are going to deal with these two, how we can set up a Jenkins server using Ansible, then how can we create a Tomcat server and deploy a var file using this Jenkins file. So for that one, we are going to write a Ansible playbook to install Jenkins. If you are doing Jenkins installation manually, this is the procedure we were following, right? We need an EC2 instance and security group with port number 8080. After that, these all are the shell commands which we are going to execute. Now we are going to convert these shell commands into our Ansible playbook to install our Jenkins, right? Let's go and write our Ansible playbook. So I'm using Sublime text editor to do that one. It starts with the 3-s and name, install Jenkins, and hosts. I'm going to specify host name as a Jenkins. I will update my hosts inventory according to this. Become true. Okay. So let me save this file so that you will see the format of our YAML. Here I'm just adding this one, jenkins.yml. Okay, now become true, then gather facts. We don't require gather facts, so just I'm giving no. Then tasks, and under tasks, first task is we need to install Java. Sorry, yeah, we need to install wget. If wget, sorry, not here. Yep, we need to install Java. So to install Java, we need to give yum install Java 1.8. Rather than this one, this is the full name. Okay, so this is how we need to give. Let me give, this is the one, right? Open JDK, not table, just open JDK. Till here we can give. So let's give this command into as a Ansible task. So install Java. Under Java, we are installing Java by using yum module. Name, what is the name of our Java? That is Java 1.8.0 OpenJDK. Okay, so this is the name, and state installed or present, whatever we want we can give. So that is the first step we need to do. Next thing, once Java is installed, we need to set up the Java home path. Again, it is optional for Jenkins, so we are just skipping. I don't want to make it as a complicated. If we want to do this one, we may need to execute the inline module and Java version. Once that is done, I'm going to do the installation of Jenkins. To install Jenkins, we need a package. We need to download it from this link. In this link, the procedure is there how we can download our packages. You can see here, these are the steps we need to execute, then we can do the yum install. So first we are downloading wget nothing but, let me increase font size. So here wget nothing but we are downloading this particular repo and adding to this one. Here you can see /etc yum repos.d and jenkins.repo. So this is the our local I mean to say on our system. In this location we want to copy the Jenkins repo. So let's do this one. Wget, there is a module called wget to download. So downloading Jenkins repo. So to download, we are going to use get URL. Okay, get URL is the module for the wget. But before using get URL, we also need to check whether wget is installed or not. If it is not installed, we need to install wget. Otherwise, it won't work. So install wget and yum name wget state installed. Okay, so we are installing Java as well as wget. I can use into a single task by using the what you can say with items, but we'll enhance this one later. Now we are downloading our Jenkins. So to download Jenkins, we need to get the URL. So that is the get URL module. You can just search for it. Wget module for Ansible. You can see here get URL is there. And if you scroll down, you can see get URL, download the file, URL, then destination, where do you want to copy, and mode. So we just need to give the source and destination in our case. Where is this file? Yeah. So URL is, let me grab the URL again. So this is the URL. Copy this URL. Then destination, where do you want to copy? I want to copy it over here. So once we have copied our URL, then we need to add key. You can see here RPM import. We are importing the key jenkins.io because it is a public repository. We need to, once we have downloaded, we need to add key. So for that one, let me search for module how we can add key. RHEL key in Ansible. Okay, so authorized keys. Okay, add a repo key. So this is the key. Okay, apt key for Ubuntu. For yeah, for RHEL it is RPM key. Let's see. You can see the syntax RPM key state present. Okay, this time state should come on top, then the key URL. So same thing we are going to do. Let's copy this one. I'm just going to make it as a adding Jenkins key. Okay, then
Shankar, what is RPM key?
RPM key nothing but it is a usually whenever we are downloading public repositories. In this case, you can see. In this case, what we are doing by default, you don't get the Jenkins repository to download packages. If I do on my system, okay, let me take any new system. Yeah, this one RHEL server, yum install Jenkins. If I do, okay, RPM key. Yeah, you can see here it is saying that I could not able to find what is Jenkins because uh, I don't know whether I explained this or not. Usually we have repositories. Let me explain quickly. Usually we have repositories like this. So this is the repository. Where is cloud here? No cloud symbol. Okay, let's take that. This is the repository we have. Okay, this is RHEL repo. RHEL repository, and by default all servers, all RHEL systems can able to communicate with this RHEL repository, and RHEL team is keep update the RHEL repository with the latest packages. Whatever latest packages or latest softwares are there, they are going to keep it over here. But they cannot able to keep all the softwares because we need to get the authentication from the software owners as well, right? If it is open source, yes, they can keep. Sometimes even though if it is open source, they need to get the approval from them. In those cases, they don't keep those. That's why whenever I try to use the yum install Jenkins, it's not working. But if I do yum install wget, it works. Why? Because it is a authorized one or it is a open sourced one. So these kind of packages you can install without any issues because those are available in your RHEL repository. But whenever you don't get required packages in your default repository, you there could be another repository which you need to communicate. Now Jenkins, what they did, they didn't allow RHEL to keep their packages over here. They said that we have separate repository called Jenkins. If you need these packages, you need to connect to this one. So that is the reason we are executing this command. Okay, we are trying to clone the repository. Once we have cloned, it is available, sorry, it is available or communicated with our system. But to connect to this one, we need to authenticate ourselves. Means Jenkins has to tell that, okay, you have downloaded, you need to also authenticate with the key. That is where we are configuring this key. This key, if you have this key, then only you can able to communicate this repository and download the packages. Otherwise you will get this kind of error. Got it? Hello, who asked that question? Nidhi?
Yes, Shankar.
Okay, so for that one we are adding the key. So here you can see we are adding the RPM key. If it is a RHEL server, we need to add RPM key. In case if we are installing same thing on Ubuntu, then we need to give the APT key, right? So state, present and key, I'm just giving, instead of this one, we are going to give the key which Jenkins is giving. This is the key we need to add. Okay, so we have added key. Next thing is we need to install Jenkins. Now once we have added our repository, we can able to install Jenkins. If I do Jenkins installation in the above step, it doesn't work because we don't have, we were not communicated with the Jenkins repo at all. So now yum install Jenkins, yum state, sorry, name.
Shankar, hyphen, yeah, okay.
Just now I realized. Okay, so name Jenkins state installed. Okay, so this is how we can install our Jenkins by using Ansible playbook. For this one, what I am going to do is, so far in RHEL, sorry, in Red Hat system, there is no Jenkins. If you search for like this, it is not working. So I'm going to install Jenkins on my RHEL server. So I mean to say that I'm making my Red Hat RHEL server as a Jenkins server. Okay, so this is my Ansible server, pwd. I'm under root. Let me switch as a ANS admin. Clear the screen. CDO playbooks. Here I'm going to add a new playbook, that is install, sorry, Jenkins setup.yml. Okay, so here I'm adding our playbook. All right, so I think everything looks good, and we need to give the host's information, and the remaining all looks fine for me. Let's add this one, and hosts file we need to update. Vi hosts, we have hosts file here itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a separate group called Jenkins. Under Jenkins, I'm going to give the IP address of our RHEL server. So I'm giving private IP address. That's it. So now what does it do? A server can be part of multiple groups here. There is no issue at all. So now if I execute my Ansible playbook, it is trying to install on our RH. It is trying to install execute on our RHL server. It's only. So Ansible playbook minus I hosts and minus C. Okay, Java was already installed because we were setting up this one as a what I can say Tomcat server, right? That's the reason it's already there, even wget also. But downloading and adding key is successful. But after that, installing it is error. Why? Because we are trying with minus C, right? So this is not actually downloaded. So now we'll execute same playbook without minus C. So this time the Jenkins should be installed, and I should able to access the my what I can say. I can able to access my RHL server from the browser. Whenever I access it, I should get the um, ps- hmm. so I should get the uh, Jenkins page. Okay. So before that one, let me check whether anything is running on port number 8080. Netstart minus tulpn grep 8080. Why? Because if already something is running, it doesn't start. Okay, so nothing is running. So for the because we have installed Tomcat also use the same port number, right? That's the reason. Okay, now let's execute. We need to add one more step here. Once we installed, we need to start the services. We missed that. So now it's installing Jenkins. Meantime, I will add that step. So we should add one more step, that is to start the services. So name start Jenkins services. Service module we are going to use for this. Name, service name is Jenkins. State started and enable. Yes. Okay, this enable means even after rebooting your system, still the Jenkins server will start. If I don't give this one, you need to restart your Jenkins. You need to start your Jenkins every restart or stop and start. Okay, it's still happening. We'll add this one once it is completed. Any questions? We can little enhance the script by what I can say using wget over here, or else first directly we can download it, then we can try to install all three together rather than doing independently. Then we can start. Okay, I will just show you that enhancement once it is done. Yes, it is installed. Now if I check in this system, the services is not running. So service Jenkins status, you can see Jenkins is installed and service is not running. I will update my Ansible playbook for that. Shift G. Okay, I'm at end of the this one we should add. All right, again I'm rerunning it. Okay, what's the error? Is there any type of module enabled? Okay, it is enabled here, sorry. All right, now Jenkins has been started. Let's check for the service. It's running. And if I go to browser with this IP and 8080, yes, you can see here Jenkins has been configured on RHEL system and we just installed with our Ansible playbook. So this is how we can write an Ansible playbook to install Jenkins. Now what we can do is we can just update this little bit. That is, here I will give just item and it should be in quotes. Then with underscore items, here I can give my item names. That is Java 1.8.0 minus open, sorry, dot open dot or minus is that minus open JDK minus JDK then wget. Okay, so this is how we can give rather than splitting it into two tasks, right? So I just saved it. Any questions? So far what we have done is we have done with the Jenkins, we have just completed Jenkins installation, but our Ansible playbook works with only RHEL system. Assume that I may install on Ubuntu system as well. If that is the case, again, I need to add few more tasks according to the Ubuntu operating system. Like Jenkins installation, we need to give the apt module, and this too is of course same. Again, installing Jenkins, again apt module services, this also works. So we need to update our playbook according to that one. So this is moreover, it is a generic. Again, you need not to write your playbook independently. So if you want to utilize already written playbooks, nothing but you don't want to start from the scratch, which is already quite a generic one or quite common one, then there is a community who can help us to give such kind of roles. Roles nothing but so far we have written it in an Ansible playbook. We can get it, we can convert it as a role as well. But usually people will give a role to do such kind of installations. Let's take an example. Sorry. Now, if I want to get any roles who is already written and if I want to utilize, where can I get? So that is where we will get the Ansible Galaxy. If you search for Ansible Galaxy, so Ansible Galaxy is a public community for sharing of your Ansible roles. Okay, so here there are multiple options. Which playbooks do you need? And you can choose that particular category and you can search for that playbook. Let's take an example that I need a Tomcat server playbook. Yeah, Tomcat installation playbook. It is something related to the web application. So if I go here, you can check, you can see a lot of authors nothing but who is updating their Ansible playbooks and how many people has downloaded. So when this was updated, okay, you can see here when this was updated. Like this, people will be updating their Ansible playbooks and keep it. And you can see this guy, it is almost 37 lakhs downloads are there, this particular PHP playbook. This Apache uh, 35 lakhs downloads. So we need, assume that we need Apache web application. Then we can click over here. Okay, so here he has updated this under on 23 days ago, and you can see how can you download it. So Ansible Galaxy install uh, Apache. Okay, you can copy this one and you can download it. So this is the public community where you can check out your Ansible necessary Ansible playbooks. So you can download it, and whatever default version is you are downloading, if it is not suitable for your environment, you can update it according to your environment and execute it. So this is the one of the easiest way to use or utilize your sorry yep getting the playbooks from your public community. Okay, and if you do remember, even whenever we are creating our Ansible roles, we have executed this command, right? Ansible, sorry, not here, in our system. So clear the screen. Ansible Galaxy, and we have done init. So init nothing but initialize it, and we have given as a web server, sorry, Tomcat installation, right? So something like this you can give. Whenever you give, it is going to create a directory structure. That's it. Okay. So if you see here, Tomcat role has been created, and you can see all the default files. If I give the tree, all the empty directory structure has been created. Similar way, if you want to get, I'm coming out here, ls, and similar way, if I want to get it, any playbook. For example, I'm going here and I will search for Tomcat. I need the Tomcat playbook. Okay, it's still loading, I think. I'm going back again. So I will search for Tomcat. You can see here Tomcat Ansible role, Tomcat. There are a lot of options are there. By looking here, you can download. You can see here 26,000 downloads. So whatever is having highest downloads, it means that that is a more efficient way. You can see here Ansible role installation, Ansible role to install and configure Apache Tomcat on CentOS and RHEL. So let's open this one, and you can see here you can use this command Ansible Galaxy install so and so so and so. By using this one, you can download this particular role into your system. So if you want to know about README, you can see the README file. How does it work and what you need to do? You can see here installation and example playbook, how you need to execute it. This is in this playbook, you are going to call your roles. You can see here roles. So like this, we have the README file. You must go or you must go and read the README file. Otherwise, it is quite difficult for you to follow the a role. Why? Because they have given their assumptions under readme. If you don't follow readme, you will mess up something, because you need to provide some variable names but you miss those variables, so it installs some default variables. All this stuff will happen. If you do remember, in Tomcat system we are going to set up a user, right? You can see here Tomcat user, and we might set up the Tomcat password as a secret. Here you can see here, this is the password. Even example user is creating, and this is the password. If you don't follow this one, you cannot understand what is the default password it is creating and how does it work, right? So this is the readme file which you need to go through with whenever you are downloading any role from Ansible Galaxy. Now we'll download it in our system. So Ansible Galaxy, I'm just going to download it, Ansible Galaxy, and go here. So let's execute this one. This time this is not init, this is install. Whenever you do install, it is going to check for this particular playbook in the Ansible Galaxy server. Okay, let's execute it. Okay, so download is successful. Once it is downloaded, you can see here there is no playbook called with this name, right? So usually whenever you download your playbooks, it will go and sit in your home directory. Okay, in home directory, I'm at my ANS admin home directory. Here, if you give ls minus la, there is a default dot ansible. Sorry, there is a hidden file called dot ansible get created. Under this, you can find your roles. You can see here Galaxy token, and this is the roles. If you go to roles, you can see the role which you just downloaded. So usually whenever you do Ansible Galaxy install, it will go and create a .ansible directory in your in your home directory. Under that, you will find roles. In these roles, it is going to download. Now let's go. Okay, so this could be very big playbook, I hope. And also a lot of options are there. It will come with the practice if you want to write this kind of playbooks. Okay, but anyway, you just see this, there is a default handlers, okay, license, metadata, modules, all these are there. And this is the actual file you need to first open. So tasks, so go inside to tasks. If you go here, because this is the root of your file, from here only it is going to start. If you read this one or try to understand this one, then only you can understand other stuff. So under tasks, we have a main.yml, cat main.yml. So in our case, we might have only main.yml, but if you see here, apart from main.yml, they have given the another names. Okay, so we'll see how does it help for this particular task. If you see, instead of keeping, because again what and all he is doing, configuring, installing, configuring, set up non-production permissions, and set production permissions and uninstall. Like this, there are various steps are there. So rather than keeping all the tasks in a single main file, again we can split that into the different files, and we can call those by using include option. You can see here include option. And when we are going to install.yml, when tomcat state is present, nothing but whenever we want to install this, we need to provide, of course, tomcat status we need to provide, then only uh, it is going to call this one. Then you can see here uninstall, when we call the option. Okay, whenever we give the tomcat state as a option, then only it is going to call this particular playbook. Like this, we can include other playbooks, but by default we need to check out the install.yml, where we have all the steps how we can install. You can see here a lot of variables we are using, but if you try to understand, it is similar to how we have done. So first we are installing Java name we are giving variable, and with items what is the Java package name, and when we want to install Java package. Then check the tomcat is already installed in this path. Okay, by default it is going to some path and checking for whether tomcat is available or not. So we are registering whether tomcat is installed or not. Is installed, nothing but this is the keyword. Okay, you should follow the this keyword. So register, it is going to, sorry, this is not keyword, this is a variable kind of thing. Whatever output you are going to get, that output is stored over here. Then create a group, then create user, create temp directory. Like this, all are variables. These variables will be available under your default section, because if you provide custom variables, then you need to update your vars file. Otherwise, all these variables are defined under the default. So some version he might assumed and taken users and all this stuff he is going to specify in the defaults. So that's how it works. Let's go back to again over here and go to defaults, and you can see here main.yml. You can see some of the default parameters are there. You can see here cat main.yml. Yep. You can see here default files for the tomcat ansible role. See here tomcat state present. Nothing but if you just execute that playbook, it just to treat the tomcat state as a present. And if you do remember here, we are using right state, which state, when condition we are giving, right? There it is. Yeah, here include when condition we are using tomcat state present. Nothing but by default, if you don't provide any variable, it try to install the tomcat. And the tomcat version, which version it is trying to install? 8.5.42. But latest version is 8.5.56 is there. So you can change either here, or you can take this variable and define in the variables file. Like this, we have a lot of options, and by default, it is going to install under OPT. Okay, so all this information is there, and by default port number is 8080. It is not changing anything, configuration file. So all this information is there. So this is how we can import roles from your Ansible Galaxy. Is that clear? That is how Ansible Galaxy works here. Okay, so we have seen that how to install Jenkins, and we have seen how the Ansible Galaxy does work, and it is more advanced feature Ansible Galaxy. Once you are familiarized with roles very well, then only you can start using Ansible Galaxy. But if you are fine to what I can say use roles, even though you don't write, okay, then you can go with this one. But the problem here is it comes with a lot of default settings. You may not identify where you need to change uh, which variables until you have full understanding of roles. That's why usually for beginners, it is better to write their own Ansible playbooks or roles so that they have full control, even though if it is not much customized. But here, whatever we are getting, it will be more like a suitable for any environment until you know the variables, how does it work. Clear? Even we will have the Jenkins as well. Okay, you can search for Jenkins. We have written a simple Ansible playbook, but if you go here, yes, Jenkins 7000 downloads are there. Any other are there? Yeah, this is Nexus. We don't need Nexus, but Jenkins we can install. So I'm just copying this one, and again I'm going to execute this one. This time it is going to download Jenkins. All right, it's downloaded Jenkins. I'm under roles directory itself. You can see here, this is the lean delivery Jenkins. If I go inside, again here you can see the readme file. Better to read the readme file whenever you want to use the default ones, and go inside to tasks, ls, and you can see here under these tasks so many are there. Again, in this we need to concentrate main. Why? Because this is the default file which calls, and this file can call any of these files. Okay, so vi, sorry, more main.yml, you can see here, including variables, error control, loops. Okay, a lot of stuff is there here. First he is upgrading pip. Through pip he is installing pip packages, creating a group, creating user, and you can see here Jenkins repository installation. Okay, so this is what we were doing, right? First Jenkins repository we were installing, then Jenkins installation. He is calling from other YAML file. We need to go and get the information from this repository, sorry, this YAML file, this directory I can say. Like this, there are a lot of options. Here he is restarting. It is more advanced, which you can set up a lot of things by using this. Okay, maybe you can find out the simple one. Ansible role Jenkins slave installation. We don't require Ansible role to install Jenkins slave system, and some plugins. I think this is simple one. Let's try it. Each one have the custom name. Okay, so I'm going back, and again I'm executing. Okay, so here I have just now in open. This is the one we have downloaded, and you can see the tasks here. cat main.yml. This is also lengthy playbook. Yeah, first thing he is including other roles as well. With this one, we got other roles as well. OpenJDK, these libraries also we got. Anyway, if you see, install OS family. So which OS we are installing, I think. So role install Jenkins we are installing. It is calling from other file. And again role configuring the Jenkins user. Ensure Jenkins is installed. Configuring the Jenkins launching settings, restarting Jenkins. All these configurations are there. Okay. Now, okay, let's come back. So that's what I would like to discuss about Ansible Galaxy. Now we are going to see how we can deploy a WAR file on the Tomcat server. Now, till now, what we have done, we have set up the Jenkins server and administrative password is available over here. Let me complete the setup of this Jenkins server. So cat, okay, I'm a ANS admin sudo cat. This is the password and continue. Oops, not here, yeah, sorry. Sudo cat, there also I have installed, I think. Sudo cat. I was experimenting on my system last time, so there I installed, I think. Okay, here this is the password for this system and continue and installed suggested plugins. Whatever the Jenkins roles we have downloaded, in that all these stuffs might be included. Okay, so select install suggested plugins. I don't want to go to the selected plugins. Let it install the default plugins. Meantime, what I will do, I'm going to set up an Ansible playbook to deploy a WAR file on the target system. Okay, so this is my Ansible server. Go to my home directory under here, playbooks. Okay, so we have already a role to set up the Tomcat, right? Go inside to the Tomcat and cat tasks dot main.yml. So in this system, what we are doing, by this time we are just setting up the Tomcat and we are starting the services. Now I would like to copy my WAR file onto this system, right? So to copy, there are multiple ways we can do. We can directly copy it from the Jenkins server itself, or else, yeah, we can copy it to Jenkins server. Then I will update this one. So username, I'm creating a user called Jenkins and password is Jenkins at 123. All right, so let's continue and let it be the URL and start using Jenkins. Okay, so now my Jenkins system is ready. Now I need to create a new job which is going to set up the Tomcat on the target system and install a WAR file. Okay, so for that purpose, quickly I'm going to launch a new system. I'm going to launch a Red Hat or Amazon Linux because we are going to deal with the RHEL systems. So T2 Micro, name Tomcat temp server. DevOps SG, right? So 80, 80 to 9, 80, 90. Okay, we have launched a system. In this system, I need to install Tomcat and also deploy my application. That is my requirement. Either I can write my Jenkins playbook, sorry, Jenkins pipeline script, or else I can create a Jenkins file, sorry, Jenkins job for this one. I'm going to do with the both the cases. In while we were discussing about playbooks, we haven't discussed about sorry. While we were discussing about Jenkins pipeline scripts, we haven't discussed about how to deploy on Tomcat server. In today's session, we are going to write a Jenkins pipeline to deploy on a Tomcat server. All right. So what I can say, my system is ready. I need to make this one as a Ansible client, right? So let's connect to this one. So this procedure, you know, right? Creating user and enabling password based authentication. Without password based authentication, still we can communicate with this system. Okay, so I have created my system and I'm becoming a root. First thing, user add Tomcat I'm giving rather than is ANS admin. Okay, or else let me create ANS admin itself and password ANS admin ANS ABC123. We have given ABC123 ABC123 and I'm enabling password based authentication SSH SSHD underscore config and password based authentication no to yes. That's it. And service SSHD reload. Now I need to copy my SSH keys so that I can make this one as a slave IPADDR. So I'm getting the IP address of new system and will update in my, let me go to my playbooks. Okay, yeah. So here I'm updating under hosts file. So here I'm creating one more group, that is Tomcat. Okay, I'm giving this IP address, then SSH copy ID. I'm giving the IP address yes to connect. Okay, I'm giving the password ABC123, right? Okay, we have copied. Now if I check SSH to the target system, I can log in without password. It means my system is Ansible client. Now my case is I want to install Tomcat on the new system. On this system, nothing is installed so far. It is a fresh system. I want to install Tomcat on this system, then deploy the WAR file. Let's create a Jenkins job to do that one. So if you do remember, to deploy on Tomcat server, we need a plugin called deploy to container. Let's install that one. First, we'll go with our uh, easiest way, then we'll uh, keep on adding the complexity for that one. Okay, Jenkins GUI has been changed, I think, in the latest version. Okay, manage plugins and available. It looks so good, man. Deploy on deploy to, yeah, you can see here deploy to container plugin is there. Select this one and install without restart. And by default, Git plugin is already installed, even Maven also. So we have installed, yeah, few other things we need to do. That is Java home path. We need to set up Maven. Okay, then rather than using new system, what we are going to do, we are going to use the existing system because we need to do additional configurations. Even I should install Maven as well. So let me start the existing system. So I'm just copying the public IP, public DNS, sorry. So 8080. Let me close all the tabs. Okay, maybe is it still up coming up? So 8080. All right, our server is coming up. Here we have already everything is set up, so we can directly create our job. Even if you want to do the Maven installation as well by using your Ansible playbook, you can do that one. Maybe take that one as a assignment. Okay, you can enhance the playbook to install Maven as well. So this is our Jenkins system. Now I am going to create a new job because here we have all the plugins and everything, and I'm creating a Maven project. Before that, Tomcat app deployment. Okay, so Maven project. So git URL I'm choosing, and git URL I'm taking the hello world program. This hello world I'm taking. Take this repository. Then what we want to do, we want to build this clean package install. We can directly give clean install as well. Then post build actions here, deploy to container. Okay, so what we need to do is before deploying the container on the this system, okay, this system we are doing, right? But before deploying on this system, we need to set up our Tomcat server. Okay, so for setting up Tomcat server, we have Ansible playbook, right? That Ansible playbook we need to execute. That Ansible playbook we need to execute on this system. So now if you try to understand the way how does it work, Jenkins has to initiate your Ansible server. Jenkins has to initiate your Ansible server to run Ansible playbook on the target system. Let me draw it. So this is my Jenkins server, and this is my Ansible server, and this is my Tomcat server. Now to run, I want to install Tomcat over here by using Ansible server. Okay, so now I want to install Tomcat on my Tomcat system by using Ansible. But Ansible, somebody has to tell to Ansible that execute this Ansible playbook. That is where Jenkins will come and has to Jenkins has to come and initiate this Ansible playbook. For that, we need to add our Ansible to the Jenkins. For that, we need to authenticate our Jenkins to execute this Ansible playbook on the Ansible system. For that, we need one more plugin, that is publish over SSH plugin. Okay, so sorry, not here. In Jenkins, we need publish over SSH plugin. Let me save this job. We'll come here and do again. So go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, and plugins available. Okay, publish over SSH. Yep. you can see here publish over SSH is a plugin which will help us that send build artifacts over SSH, or we can execute some commands on the target system. So install without restart. Let me refresh it. Yeah, installation is successful. Now again go back and what is our last updated? Yeah, Tomcat app deployment. Open this file and configure. So far what we are doing, we are just downloading the repository and building it. Let's execute once just to check out that whether our build is successful or not. Build now. Okay, build is successful. It means that it is able to build our code and generate the var file. Next thing, we are going to modify this playbook to execute our Ansible playbook. Okay, to execute our Ansible playbook, we need to add, we have installed Ansible, publish our SSH, right? We need to add our Ansible server information under system configure systems. Okay, under configure systems, we need to add our Ansible system information. Let's go and do that. So if you scroll down somewhere, you can see publish our SSH. Yep, you can see here publish our SSH, and here you need to add your server information. Passphrase is not there. Okay, path of the file SSH servers. Okay, yep, you can see here SSH servers. You need to add a SSH server. So click over here and SSH server name. I'm giving Ansible server, and host name I'm going to give the IP address of our Ansible server. So what is the IP address? This is the IP address, right? Hold on. IP ADDR. So this is the IP address of our Ansible server. Then username. So you can connect to this system as a ANS admin user, and remote directory is not required. Then you need to provide the password. For that, go to advanced, and here you need to provide use password authentication. You need to choose that option, and here you need to provide the password. So ANS admin password is ABC123. Once you have provided this information, you need to test it whether it is successfully connected to our Ansible system or not. I'm explaining one more time. Let me remove it. So what you need to do is go to the publish over SSH. Here you need to add your SSH server. So add, and you need to provide your Ansible and host name, IP address of your system. This name can be anything, just for recognition. And username, as a which user I want to run the Ansible playbook on the target system. You need to run as a Ansible user, and go to advanced. Here, if you have the, what I can say, we are providing password, right? So we should choose this option. Okay, here we should give the passphrase ABC123. What it is saying? Remote directory is not mandatory. These three are mandatory. Of course, it is there. Anyway, test connection. It is success. Nothing but it could able to communicate. Apply and save. So now again go to our Tomcat job. Then configure, and we are adding one more step, that is add publish over SSH. Execute build, execute shell, top level. Yep, you can see here send files or execute commands over SSH. So this is the option you should choose, and here you can provide your system. SSH server, we have only one server, so that is why it is propagated only Ansible. And source file, nothing but if you are copying any files, you need to specify over here. But we are not copying any files. We want to execute command on the target system. So usually to install our Apache Tomcat, what is the command we are executing? Clear the screen. So pwd. So under this directory, we have Tomcat setup, right? So Tomcat setup is there. Ansible playbook -i hosts Tomcat setup. Okay, this is what we are, sorry, not Tomcat setup, this one, right? Ansible playbook Tomcat setup.yml. So this is the playbook we are executing here. Let me open the Tomcat setup.yml. No, not this file. Which file we have created? Yeah, this one, right? Ansible role. So if I want to install Tomcat on the target system, I need to give Ansible playbook -i hosts Tomcat role. Okay, Tomcat role.yml. If I execute this one, it is going to execute on the hosts which you specified over here. I need to update this one. So same command we are going to give in our Ansible playbook, sorry, Jenkins playbook, sorry, Jenkins job. So go here and on which server we want to execute this one. We just named it as a Tomcat server, Tomcat, right? So I'm giving just a Tomcat, and if I check for my hosts file, there is a Tomcat group. Under this, on this group, it is in only one server is there. In this server, it is going to execute that playbook. Clear? And let me validate my Ansible playbook. Ansible playbook -i hosts Tomcat minus underscore role. Yeah, Tomcat underscore role.yml -c. Just I'm validating it, and yep, it is saying that missing sudo password, nothing but we haven't added our ANS admin user to the sudo's file over here. So va sudo shift g, this is one step we have missed. ANS admin, and save this file. All right, so now let's execute one more time. Okay, it looks good, and extracting packages anyway it doesn't happen. Why? Because we are executing with -c command. Now same command we need to execute from our Jenkins job. So go back to our Jenkins job and give this command. But the problem here with this command is we are going to give this one, and it cannot able to identify the path. While executing this command, we are doing from the where, from this location we are doing. So we need to give either this full path of your Ansible playbook, and Ansible host, or else go inside to this one and execute it. Something like this you need to change. So in front of your hosts file, full path of your hosts file, it is available under this path, right? Let me increase size. So, and even role also, in front of role you need to give like this. Okay, so this is how you can give the playbook, or else other way is, if it is confusing, you can give one more command, that is cd. Okay, go inside to that one and then execute this playbook. These two playbooks are executed continuously. All right, apply, save. Are you guys with me so far? Just give a quick confirmation in the chat window. Remaining people, if you lost somewhere, please let me know. Okay, nothing we are doing here. We are just trying to deploy Tomcat application by using a Jenkins job. So first we are building the code using Jenkins. Then we also giving a instruction to our Ansible playbook, sorry, Ansible server to execute this Ansible playbook to install Tomcat on the target system. Once it is installed, we need to do the var file deployment. But let's first we'll deploy the Tomcat, then we'll enhance our job again. Okay, apply and save. Now let's execute. Once I build this one, what should happen? Okay, this system, what I can say, this system, this is the target system. In this system, under OPT, Tomcat should set up, and Tomcat should be up and running whenever I execute ps-ef grep Tomcat. The services should be running. Then I should access this application from the browser. All right. So let's execute now, build now. I'm building this job. You can see here it is running Ansible playbook. It is installing Java. It is downloading Tomcat packages. And changing the permissions and starting the Tomcat. It is successful. And if I go and check on my system, I can see the Tomcat is running, and I should access this application from the browser. So Tomcat test server. So take the public IP, public DNS colon 8080. Sorry, it runs on 8081, right? Because we are copying a file onto this location. You can see here Tomcat is installed. So now Tomcat is installation is completed. Now I want to deploy my application. So far we are just building the code, configure. So far we are just building the code and deploying the Tomcat, but still we are not deploying our var file over here. And you know, right, how we can deploy var file on the target system. That is under post build actions. You can deploy EAR var or EAR to a container, and here you can choose the var file, that is webapp/target/star.var. Okay, in this location the var file is created, right? Even you can check that path by going to again your job. I'm opening a new page, and if you go to workspace, you can see here web app target. Here you have a var file. That is the path I have given, web app target var file. So I will give the var file name directly. So this is the path, that is where var file is there. Deploy to container, and I need to choose
Thank you.
yeah, web app. Yes, so web app target. Next, credentials. We haven't added any credentials because that server is what I can say, we haven't enabled that one. So here we need to add credentials and deploy. But I don't want to do with this publish over SSH, because everything I need to come and configure over here, right? Rather than that one, what I will do, I will copy this var file. Okay, whatever var file we get, that var file I will copy it onto the Ansible server itself, and Ansible let it copy into the target system. Okay, so we are going to copy var file onto the Ansible server, and Ansible server is going to copy that one onto the Tomcat server. Same thing. Now I have initialized Ansible playbook to install Tomcat over here. Now what I will do, I will keep my var file. I will keep, once I created var file, I will keep it in Ansible and do whatever you want. I will tell to Ansible that do whatever you want. I will just give the var file to you. Okay, usually var file we don't store over here, we will store in the artifactory, right? So something like this, we will have one more system called artifactory. So var file we copy over here, and your Ansible playbook should download from the Artifactory to your what I can say Ansible system, or else you can directly initiate your Artifactory to copy that onto the target system. Either way is works. Okay, but we are yet to configure all this stuff. For rather than that one, we are going to just copy the Artifactory into the Ansible system, and Ansible is again going to copy that onto the target system. Okay, so for that one, we need to do few modifications to our job. That is, first send files or execute commands over SSH. Okay, this is to run Ansible playbook. Here itself, you can specify your path where you want to copy your file. Sorry, what file you want to copy and where do you want to copy. So I want to copy web app target slash, what is the var file name? Web app.var. So this var file. Okay, remove prefix nothing but this entire stuff it is going to remove. Okay, while copying, I want to remove this prefix. I don't need this directory structure. Otherwise, what does it do? It creates this web app target directory in the target system and copies. And where do you want to copy this file? I want to copy this one into my home directory in this location only. Under Ansible playbooks only, I want to copy. Okay, so now I'm going to apply save. Let's execute one more time. If I build this time, the deployment deployment is not yet happen, but it is going to copy our var files onto the target system. Nothing but in Ansible system, in this location, you can see a var file once that is completed successfully. Okay, it is installing Tomcat. Anyway, it is already there, so nothing to do much over here. Okay, you can see here transferred one file, and if I go and check over here, so web app target where we are copying slash home Ansible playbooks. Okay, same. Okay, it hasn't copied. This is the last one. So let me check what was the earlier output. Okay, files transferred 0. Now it's transferred. Remote directory home. Let me go list out this one. Okay, let me give just ANS admin and build it again. This is correct. Web app target. Remove this one. Apply, save. Hold on. So let me check my under my home directory. Yep, you can see here it's created what I can say under web app home directory. Why it is not creating under exact path? UWD. There could be some reason. Let me, okay. I need to give slash, I think, at the end. Let me, okay, double slash we should give here. I missed it. So otherwise it cannot able to recognize these directories. We should give the double slashes. Then only it can identify. Apply, save. Let's execute again. Build now. So now it is executed. CD. Okay, this time it is successful. Let me try it out again. ls minus ltr cd playbooks ls minus ltr. Yes, now you can see here where file has been copied over here. Now this where file I want to copy it onto target system, right? So I will just enhance my Ansible role to copy this file onto the target system. So let's enhance this one. VI Tomcat setup. Okay, we are using role, right? Tasks main.yml. Here I'm going to add one more role, that is again copy only. Okay, copy where file. So we want to copy this one src in my current location. Webapp.where is there, and where do you want to copy? Destination should be your /opt and Tomcat. Here we have a web app directory. Okay, into this directory we should copy. I will just show you. So this is the Tomcat server /opt Apache Tomcat. Sorry, Apache Tomcat. Here we have a directory called web app. In this directory we should copy. So this is the path I have given over here. So anyway, this is variable, right? This path is variable, Tomcat package, and web app is there. This location we are copying. And for your information, we should have access to this location. Anyway, we are doing it as a root. There won't be any issue. Now let's save this file, and I will execute the Tomcat job again. And this time what will happen in this location under /web app. Okay, this is the path. If I execute this one, I should get my application. At this time, there is no application in this location. Once it is deployed, we will get the application. Now let's build it again. Okay, so everything is done. Restart Tomcat, copy a where file is done. So let's execute. Why it is not? Is it copied properly? So this is the target system. It's not copied.
Shankar, actually
Oops, there is a typo.
yeah, it's web apps.
Yes. So this is web apps. Let's build it again. Okay, now it is successful. Let me load it. And you can see, welcome to Veloxy Technologies deploying using Jenkins pipeline. Okay, this is the content we have. So this is how we can deploy a application by using Jenkins and Ansible. If you see the Ansible, rather than configuration management nothing but we are configuring the system. Installing Tomcat is a configuration management, and we also doing the copying the where file, nothing but we are doing deployment as well. So this is how we can use it as a deployment as well. So to validate it one more time, what I will do, I will just modify our code. This is our code, right? So go to web app, and I will enable the poll SEM on our job just to make sure. Configure. So poll SEM, nothing but if there is any change in my code, please execute this job. Okay, so that is the meaning. It is going to 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, save. So it is going to check my code every one minute, and if there is any changes, it is going to do the build. I think initially whenever you set up, it is going to trigger a build. Anyway, either 7th build or 8th build should happen. Meantime, I will update my code. So index.jsp. Here I'm just removing or updating this line, that deploying using setup and deploy using Ansible. Okay, and preview changes. I'm just updating single line, and I have committed. And if you go here, it automatically triggers our job, and it should deploy on our system, and the latest code you can see over here without touching anything. And also, if you see what will happen, assume that your Tomcat server went down. Let it get run. Okay, assume that your Tomcat server went down and you could not able to recover that system. Then still you don't have any problem, because your code has been converted as a script. You just create a new instance and you execute this particular job. It automatically deploys the Tomcat and deploy the application. Maybe in our case we are doing what I can say, test page, but usually it could be a application, right? Let me refresh it. You can see here whatever changes we have done, it has been available. So this is how we can make our environment more robust and very easy for our deployments. Okay, any questions? I know that it could be a little bit heavy for today, but still you understand the concept, right? How does it work?
Shankar, can you quick recap, please?
Yeah, I will do that. So what we have done is, first thing is we have set up a Jenkins server by using Ansible. Then we have done Tomcat setup, Tomcat setup by using Ansible again. But while doing Tomcat setup, we want to do the deployment as well. So for that one, what we have done is we have used our Jenkins system, and we have written our Ansible playbook anyway over here, and we set up a new Tomcat server. Maybe it is a new Tomcat server, but it is empty. Nothing is there inside the Tomcat. Okay, it is fresh and empty system. So my Ansible system can able to set up Tomcat over here. Okay, once the Tomcat is set up, then I want to deploy a var file over here. But where is our var file is generating? Under Jenkins. So whenever we generate any var file in Jenkins, we are copying it to Ansible. And we have modified our Ansible playbook to take this var file and deploy it onto the Tomcat server along with the Tomcat installation. That is what happened. And here, instead of coming to Ansible and executing our Ansible playbook, we went to Jenkins and we installed a plugin called Publish Over SSH. The Publish Over SSH plugin can initiate any jobs in the remote system. Rather than coming here and executing Ansible playbook, in Jenkins I installed Publish Over SSH. There I have specified that go and execute Ansible playbook on the Ansible system. What does that playbook does do? It is going to deploy the Tomcat. That is the initial thing it happens. Next, what we have done in our Jenkins job, again we modified our job, and we said that whatever var file I generate, usually var file will be available in the Jenkins server itself in the this location, workspace, under workspace, web app, and target. In this location usually it is available. This may be changed, but the target is common for every job. Under target you can see the var file, and var file name also may change. Okay, in our case the web app slash target slash web app dot var is the var file name. So in my job, I specified that, okay, copy the web app var file into the Ansible. And also in Ansible playbook, we have modified to copy this var file onto the Tomcat system. That is how the continuation happens. Now, whenever I execute job, Ansible is going to initiate your Jenkins will build the var file. Once var file is built, it initiate the Ansible playbook, and Ansible playbook set up Tomcat on target system if it is not installed. If it is already installed, nothing to do. Then also Jenkins once initiated Ansible playbook, it also copies the var file onto the Ansible system, and Ansible system again copy the var file onto the target system. That is what this job is doing. If I go to configure, what I will do first, I will clone the code from Git. This is Polesium. Polesium nothing but if any changes are there in this code, every minute it will go and check if there is any changes. It pull the latest code and do the build automatically. That is Polesium does do. Then building the job, we are building with the Maven. So it is building. Once it is built, the code will be stored under web app target var. Okay, that is where var file gets stored. Once var file gets stored, I'm initializing Ansible to copy the var file onto Ansible playbook into this location, then execute this Ansible role. Nothing but this Ansible role is going to set up the Tomcat and copy this particular var file onto the target Tomcat system. That is what we are doing. Is it clear?
Yes, Shankar.
I mean, this concept is clear. Okay, good. Any other questions? Okay, all right. If you don't have any questions, we can stop over here. Okay, that's all we can talk more like Ansible, and we just left out AWX. Okay, AWX we cannot able to talk at this moment, but just to give you a brief, whatever Ansible CLI we are doing, same thing we can do it from the GUI. That is where AWX comes into the picture. AWX, or we can call it as a Ansible tower. Okay, we'll discuss that one at the end of our training when we are doing our projects. Now it will be bit confusing for you guys. Then Ansible inventory, maybe in next session we are going to talk about Ansible inventory, hardly 15 to 20 minutes. Then we move on to the Sonar Cube.